Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Exponential Potential. And I'm super geeked out about this conversation in so many ways. Joining us today, we have big friend Shaura, sorry, um, who's joining us to really help us explore a way that you can use tools like AI to start challenging your assumptions about what you can do. This month in August, we've been looking at the concept of limitless and covering many aspects of it. And I am particularly nerdy around the role that artificial intelligence can play to really challenge our limits and challenge our thinking about what we can do next. And so, hey, Vikram, good to have you here.
Hey, Claire, it's good to have you, and I'm really keen for this conversation.
Yeah. We've already sort of said we'll try not to geek out completely. And so, there'll probably be some little alerts that come up on the YouTube channel going, geek alert. So we'll try to be really good and try to break down some of these concepts. But I'm so excited to have you join us because you're tackling head on kind of one of the biggest challenges that many people face. And that's in terms of writing a book. There are so many really talented coaches and academics who, it's in their top 10 to write a book, but it's always one of those things that's a bit too hard, too hard to do. And you help authors become authors. It's exciting.
Yeah, there's a survey by Forbes, and according to Forbes, 81% Americans wants to become an author. But the fact is, out of those 81%, only 1% was 1% people out of those 81% actually start writing their book. Right? That's crazy. And 1% of that 1% actually end up completing their book. This is very kind of an odd number, but that's the kind of problem that we are trying to solve. Like, we are trying to increase the percentage from 1% to significant number so that we can help more and more people um, spread their message, and also spread their stories, ideas, experience, and expertise with the world. So yeah, this is what we are trying to do, right? There are, I, there are very few people I meet. Like, I think out of from on 10, 9 out of 10 people I meet, like, they want to write a book, and there are very few people I meet, like, who are actually an author or they have started writing a book. It is indeed a top 10 goal for most of the people, but just because they are not sure where to start, how to do, there's so many things involved in writing a book, publishing a book, marketing a book. They just get stuck, and they just keep on delaying it. They just keep on procrastinating, which ends up uh, making this kind of a huge gap of people like who want to become an author, but there are very few people like who actually end up becoming an author.
And your own story, I mean, you became an author, 11, 12 years ago for the first time. Kind of were there any particular drivers behind that for you? Is this a lifelong dream?
Yeah, for me, I was just 18, 19 at that time. Like, I recently dropped out of the college because I realized that engineering college is not for me. I wanted to do something of my own, and I started a company. I hired a bunch of employees, but in 6 months I ran out of money. I had no money to pay bills and everything. So I had to shut down the company, fire employees. It was very sad, but I just really didn't want to go back to the college. So I was looking for more opportunity. I had bills to pay. Um, I was in financial debt of, I think, more than $5,000 at that time at the age of 19. And I was looking for opportunity to make money online with zero investment because I had no money at all. And then I discovered that I can write books and I can publish books and I can make some money out of it. 11, 12 years ago, it was uh, this self-publishing and the Kindle publishing was kind of a top 10 things to do to make money online. And I just picked one, and I started writing book, right? I had never thought of writing a book before that.
Yeah.
This is crazy, but I I initially that like before that like I thought once to write a fiction book, but I never wrote a fiction book. Like, and then I started writing a book. The first book I wrote it in just 21 days. And when people hear that, like they go like, "How could you do it?" And that was not an AI kind of a thing. Like we had no AI tools back then, but it was kind of a necessity for me. Like I had bills to pay. I really wanted to make money. So I had no excuse at all. Like the only thing that I used to do was eat, sleep, and write. Right. I just used to write for 16, 18 hours a day. And uh, English is not my first language. So I was kind of very terrible with uh, the writing thing. My girlfriend back then, she was very good at academics. She did help me with the proofreading and everything. By the way, now she's my wife. So so she helped me with the proofreading, and then I was able to publish the book. I made some money from that, and then the entire journey actually began from there. Right, I started writing books after books, made a lot of money from that, and then I started helping other people doing it. Right, they actually people started reaching out to me that, hey, how did you write the book? And initially I helped a few people for free. Then I added some coaching fees in that, and then I started offering done for you services. I assembled a team of ghostwriters, editors, designers, publishers, marketers, and started offering these services. So yeah, like this is the entire process, like how I started writing a book. It was not my dream because I was just 19. I had no experience at all, nothing to share with the world, but still, just because I had to do something in my life, I had to be financially stable and pay my bills and debt, and that's why I had to do it.
Oh, it's incredible. And you mentioned there that engineering college was one of the options that you had. And I wonder, just as an aside, really, so my husband's an engineer, and his father's an engineer, and his brother's an engineer. So I know a few engineers in my life. But one of the things that people um, who are wired to explore engineering do really well is that they are really good at solving problems. So finding patterns and just pushing, working out how to fix a problem and then repeating it and testing the process and then repeating and testing the process. So do you think, at age 19, you brought some of that engineer brain with you to say, right, how do I crack this? How do I crack the system? How do I crack this idea of writing a book?
Yeah, the funny thing is like so over here in India, like there's a 4-year program for engineering college, like to graduate um,
Mm.
from BTech, like we call it BTech, which is Bachelor in Technologies. Uh, I went, I completed 3 semesters over there, which is 1.5 years.
Mm.
But I took very, very few classes because back then, like it was more theory in the classes. Like we there were times like when the teacher used to get me in the practical labs. I used to enjoy going in labs and doing all kind of stuff, but there were very very few classes for that. So I used to avoid get going to the college. Like I in just first semester I got to know that this is not for me. But I was just delaying, and I thought like my father has sold land to got my admission in this college, so I had to complete this. But then I was in a college library in my third semester, and I read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki
Yeah.
in my college library. And the very same day, like when I read that book, I decided that I want to do something of my own. And I the very same day I just dropped out of the college. Like I never uh, went back to the college. So this is how. But answering your question, like to solving the problem and thinking the first principle and finding the pattern and everything, um, I think I figured out this that this was my strength, right? To think in systems, to find out the patterns, exactly what things are working, what are not working. I I'm good at testing a lot of things. Um, still in our business, like we have a lot of marketing campaigns going on, LinkedIn campaigns, email campaigns. We also starting Facebook ads and everything. I'm very much involved with the team in marketing, right? Like exactly what is working, what is not working. Things that were working last year, most of them are not working right now. So now we keep on testing new things just to make sure that we find out something that is working right now. So so yeah, like I figured out in my early 2 to 3 years in starting a business that this was my strength, to think in patterns and think in systems and find a solution around that.
And then, and then help people to achieve something that's really powerful, which is around expressing their voice, around publishing. There are you just described 81% of people in the US want to write a book, and then 1% actually
Start
start,
writing. Yeah.
and then 1% or 1% actually do. So for so many people, they have this untapped voice and kind of their own stories that aren't coming across. So yeah, hugely powerful. You're unleashing that for them.
Yeah, like now, of course, as I mentioned before, this recording thing, like that initially, like for early 2 to 3 years in the business, my personal private goal was to make money, right, just to feed my family and everything. But now, of course, just because we're a stable company, we our goal has shifted drastically. Like now, we are very much focused towards spreading the message of the author. Like whenever we get a new clients, we always make sure that the the message, like usually the clients that we work with, they are very busy. They don't even have time to sit down and write the book, right? This is the type of people we work with, like entrepreneurs, thought leaders, speakers, coaches, and consultants. Either they don't have the time or they don't have the skill set to write a book. So we connect them with a ghostwriter. We call them angel writers who actually take the interviews and write the book for them in their authentic voice. And then we do the editing, then proofreading, then we do the cover designing, formatting of the book, we then publish the book, we market the book, we get sales, reviews, we guarantee that the book is going to become Amazon #1 bestseller. Also, if the client wants, we can also help them get on USA Today bestseller or Wall Street Journal bestseller as well. This is our capability. So we take care of everything, including audiobooks, podcast booking services, anything that you can imagine in the publishing space, like we take care of that. So now we are also moving towards the speaking thing. Like we are helping authors get speaking gigs, like paid speaking gigs, so that they can spread their message to a wider audience, right? Also, TED, we are trying our creating new service line where we'll be helping people get on TEDx talks, right? So these are the things that we are doing just to make sure that uh, the, our main goal is to spread the message or spread the story of the author. And this is any services that can help us achieve that. Like we are either doing it or we are keep on adding those services in our all card services just to make sure that we help the author spread their message to the world.
And when you start to think about limitless and what that means, today in 2023, we have so many tools at our fingertips. We have a kind of film studio in our hands. You can edit and create films, you can record, you can write books, but also so many extra tools like artificial intelligence and Chat GPT that can help you to move faster and faster and to reach more and more people than ever. And you guys have just started to use tools like Chat GPT, haven't you?
Yeah, like in our some of our team members, like who are in the fulfillment departments, operations, and everything, they've started using ChatGPT like 4 or 5 months ago. By the way, now there's some better tools out there which are better than ChatGPT. They're also free. Of course, ChatGPT 3.5 is free, but when you go to Chat GPT 4, like they are like $20.5 paid subscription per month. But a few months ago, this tool came in the market called Claude, which spells Claude. Have you heard about it?
Oh, only just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
So it's a tool by Anthropic, and I have tested. You won't believe it. Like at least 50 tools out there in the market that are kind of a very huge competition of ChatGPT for. But I don't know like why, but my team and I am personally loving this tool called Claude. It's extremely powerful, and it really does the job, right? It just doesn't complicate what you want to achieve. Like if you give it a right instruction, it will just follow that. Sometimes ChatGPT 4 like goes in another direction. Um, so, but I, we have compared more than 100 data points, like same prompts in ChatGPT 4 and Claude, and most of the time, like 90% of the time, Claude has achieved, like has given the best output, like better than ChatGPT 4. So you can try that as well. But yes, like our team has started using these AI tools. At the same time, like we're also empowering our clients to start using these tools to write a book. For example, some of our clients that we work with, they want to write the book themselves, right? And then we take care of all the other services like editing, design, publishing, marketing. We have proper training videos on how to use ChatGPT 4 and other tools in the market, like these AI tools, to speed up the entire book writing process. So back then, like if it used to take maybe 6 months, 9 months, 10 months, sometimes 3, 4 years to write a book. Now, using these tools, it can just speed up the entire process. You can get the entire book done in maybe less than 3 to 4 weeks, and really, really good books, right? Of course, you can't copy and paste the entire thing that what ChatGPT 4 is written. You can use that and as a medium to give you the instructions and guide you. Like it can help you write really good titles and subtitles, the description of the book. It can give you some great examples of what's going on in the world, and it can do the research on your behalf. You can also guide uh, ChatGPT 4 or Claude to write the entire section of the book in your authentic voice, right? So there's so many prompts that you can use, but at the same time, you have to make some changes just to make sure that down the line in the future, there are no legal issues that you have copied and pasted everything from there. So you just have to be very careful around that. And that's why, like in our training program, if someone wants to write a book themselves, we also show them like how to safeguard yourself for any legal battle in the future, right? We don't want to get into that. So,
well, yeah, and there's so many ways that it can, when we talk about legal battles, and that's only some of the limitations. But for example, I've noticed that Chat GPT or GPT-3, which was based on, can sometimes, for want of a better word, can sometimes hallucinate or make up facts. And even sometimes it's making up false web addresses, or in some of the writing that I've done, it attributed a quote to a man in Florida who was a financial advisor who liked dogs. So those three bits of fact about that one person, you think, oh, well, it's definitely that person. And it was not at all. It had just created the quote and attributed to that person. And then, so definitely around the kind of factual accuracy of what comes out and needing to make sure that you've got that covered. But also the question around ownership has come through really strongly. So who does own the writing that comes out of some of these AI tools? And if you think about images, who owns the images? If Canva as a tool is using AI to create text to art, does the AI tool own the copyright to the image? Does Canva own the copyright to the image? Does the human giving the prompt saying the copyright. And
Mm,
yeah, but it's moving so fast, nobody really knows.
yeah, there's so many things like going on, specifically in the copyright industry, like from U.S. government as well. Um, I think a few weeks ago, more than 400 authors signed um, some agreement that they wrote a letter to the government that
Mm.
um, Chat GPT 4 is actually using the information that they have written in their book or their articles. It is just taking those as well, right? So,
Yeah.
and I think OpenAI has got so many legal letters in last 3 to 4 months. So things could be difficult. Things could be very interesting. Like we can't predict exactly what's going to happen in next 1 year, 3 years, 10 years down the line. But again, you mentioned the images as well. Of course, after mid journey and stable
Mm.
diffusion, things have changed a lot. Like those creative works that like people who used to charge like hundreds and thousands of dollars for graphics and creative
Mm.
work, like including the book writing, um, they are kind of in a fear zone. Like they're not sure exactly how they will be tackling with this AI technologies and AI revolution. So things could be scary, but we don't have any way. Like we have to use AI as an arsenal to support ourselves, support our business. That is the only thing that we can do.
Mm. And it's and what you talked about was how you're using AI to keep improving quality, you know, and
Yeah,
perhaps you could expand on that a little bit more.
yeah. So for example, ChatGPT 4 or other AI tools, they are very very good at, for example, creating 10 titles for a book. You can get a right prompt that, hey, I'm writing a book about leadership for corporate leaders who are from 40 to 60 age group. And so you can properly give them all the instruction and mention that, like, I'm writing this book. And you can also give them, get an instruction about you, like who you are and what you have done, what you have accomplished. These are things that I can cover in the book, and you can tell them, like, hey, write 10 titles and subtitles, or write 25 titles and subtitles. Now, all of a sudden, in just less than 1 minute, like you have plenty of titles and subtitles to choose from. This is the power, right? And now, once you have that ready, now you can again ask it to create the entire table of content, the outline of the book, and you can also break it down and go very granular in that, and then ask it to expand, give them give proper like step by step things, like how to uh, create the intro of a chapter, and then how to what are the things like top 10 things to cover in this chapter, and then how to segue to the second chapter. So everything, like, you can properly ask it, right? And at the same time, you can also ask ChatGPT to do the research. Of course, it it itself has just 2021 till data, right? Like you can't go after that. But there are some of the plugins out there, like that are with ChatGPT 4, that you can use to get the real time data of exactly what's happening, right? So there's no limitation over there as well. So again, but in Claude, there's no limitation. Like it is um, using the real time data as well. So you can get a lot of information from there. But at the same time, just because you want to make a connect with your audience or with your readers, you also want to make sure that the core of the story or the core of the message of the book is coming from you, from your heart, from your experience and your story. That is the essence, right? Otherwise, the reader is going to get to know that this is not written by a real person or written by you.
Mm.
And if they'll get to know, like, they'll not be able to trust you. They'll not be able to trust the process, and eventually the result or the end goal that you had, that people should read the entire book and then eventually start taking action of it. You will not be able to do it, and it is also not good for you as well, because if you are not delivering what the reader want you to deliver, eventually they won't be recommending your book to other readers or other people. So it is also going to be affecting the sales and the reviews of the books. So just make sure that uh, the you don't compromise with the quality of the book. Of course, Chat GPT 4 and AI tools out there can help you speed up the entire book writing process. You can write the entire book in 3 to 4 weeks, but just make sure that the entire quality of the book is superior, like way better than what you could have written it yourself. Not you don't have to downgrade your level and just write anything that ChatGPT 4 is coming from, just copy and paste everything in a Word document and paste and publish it. You
Well,
should not do.
there are companies that do offer you credit to just click a button and then produce an entire book. It's dull as dishwater. It's
Yeah,
a really plain, corporate, dull, kind of doesn't make sense approach. And so what you're talking about is again not not delegating everything to AI,
yeah.
using AI as a writing companion
Mhm.
to really connect in with you.
So think about it, like now almost everyone on this planet, people like who are there, um, whoever use their phone or mobile device or laptop, they know about chat.
Mhm.
If and they have access of data, like they can access anything. If eventually, if they would be reading in your book the rehashed content from ChatGPT 4, why they would be reading your book? They can just simply go to ChatGPT themselves and then they can just simply ask it and then the information will come. As an author, you are kind of an artist, right? Your
Yeah.
goal is to show them the magic, right? Present the idea, present the story, present the information that you want to present in such a way that people can connect with you, right? Connect with your story, connect with your struggles, connect with your problems. And people should feel that, hey, this person was like me 3 years ago. And now in 3 years after that, like he has taken these 10 steps and then now he has achieved these things. I can also do that.
Mm.
This thing ChatGPT 4 can't do it as of now, right? The trust, the human connection, it can't do it. So you have to be very authentic with your story and message. And that can only be achievable like if you are true to yourself and if you are true to your story.
Mm. And what style of books uh, have you seen work, among your clients? So are we talking about non-fiction books like business or leadership? Are we talking about self-improvement or fiction? What range of books are you seeing in your world?
Yeah, so we straight away don't do fiction books. Like we have worked on a very, very few fiction books, maybe I think less than 3 to 4%, but not in the book writing stage. We only take care of maybe just the book marketing or helping them with the publishing and everything. We have worked on a very few children's books as well. Um, but majority of the books that we've done, like more than 95% books we have done is in business, non-fiction, how-to books, self-help books, leadership, marketing, right? Anything that is not fiction, that is not kind of an imaginative, anything that can help you build your brand, anything that can help you get more clients. So, so purely non-fiction, self-help, leadership books, that can like business books, right? Memoir, autobiography, but of course, these memoir and autobiographies are non-fiction. These are the true, like real life incidents. So we just don't work on these fiction books. There's some reasons out there as well, like why we do it, but mainly we focus only on these non-fiction business books.
Mm. And you talk a lot around the idea of being able to write a book in seven days. Kind of
Yeah.
it just seems how do you effectively manage your time and
Mm.
and be realistic about 7 days, because like I just described, you can in theory with the right tool you could write a book in 30 minutes, but it's a appalling book. It would not sell, it wouldn't be your
Right.
message, it wouldn't people would read the first paragraph, two paragraphs and give in. But how do you help people manage their time
Yeah,
well?
of course, that was very, very extreme, like to write an entire book in 7 days. I tested it myself, like when ChatGPT 4 launched, that and at what level like I can actually push it, right? So I just tested it. I locked myself in a room, and then of course I was going out. I was spending time with my family for a few hours, but most of the time, like 10 to 11 hours a day, like I used to write. But 70 to 80% of the ideas were coming from ChatGPT 4, right? The main idea I had it, right? The main story, main message, but most of the research work, like I used to outsource it to these AI tools. There are some AI tools out there in the market, like that can also do the fact checking for
Mm.
you, which are which is going to really speed up the process. So, for example, if ChatGPT 4 is writing something, you have to make sure that it is written in like it is authentic, right? So you have to actually do the fact checking as well. So before ChatGPT 4, like we as a team, for last 2 years, like we used to use this platform called Jasper. I don't know whether you've heard about it,
Oh,
but
no.
so Jasper was kind of an industry leader. Uh, Now I think before Jasper, they actually rebranded from Jarvis to Jasper. Jarvis was kind of the AI technology name in this Iron Man movie, so they got a letter from from Marvel, so they had to
Oh,
re- they
I
had to
can
rebrand
imagine.
it. But yeah, like for me, I very much focused on just writing, right? And I had the core message, I had the core outline of the book. I just used these AI tools to help me with granular steps and sub steps of every chapters, right? And I also asked it to expand it. Then eventually, I wrote it entirely myself. But at the same time, like I also took some help for the proofreading and everything with these AI tools. Um, but yeah, like 7 days could be extreme, right? You have to just focus on the writing. Like my team was taking care of the entire operation of the business, and I was focusing just on the book. But realistically, you can write the entire book in 3 to 4 weeks using ChatGPT. If you are spending 4 to 5 hours a day on the writing, think about it. Um, if you are writing the book yourself, right, without using any AI tools, and all you could do is just write 1,000 words a day, just 1,000 words a day. In 30 days, you will be having around 30,000 words, right, of rough draft ready. 30,000 words is basically around 120 to 150 pages of book, which is kind of a market standard. So your book's first
Yeah.
draft is ready. But with the help of AI tools, think about it. Like you can write maybe 3,000, 4,000 words in a day using these tools because it is doing 80 to 90% of the item lifting. Of course, your core message, core ideas is going to be there. You just have to use the right prompt so that it can give you the entire output, and then you rewrite it in such a way that it is coming from you, right? It should come
Yeah.
from you. So it actually speeds up the process. So the thing that you could do in a month, of course, focusing everything and just writing every day patiently and with discipline, 1,000 words a day, you can do it in maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks using these tools because it's going to help you with so many things like research and giving you so many ideas, so many angles of the same idea. So that can help you achieve the entire preparing process done in around less than 3 to 4 weeks, realistically.
Mm. But what I'm thinking about is that as we've been talking, it's really clear that you understand the craft
Yeah.
that is writing a book. So you understand all of the steps that go through and what works well between different chapters in terms of the overall structure. So the way that you're using AI and the way I guess that your business guides people through is use it for parts of the process. But all of the time, you're adding value. You're adding a little bit here. You're adding a bit there. You're working together as a team.
Mm,
But what you're bringing is a really finessed understanding of what it takes to actually write a book.
mm.
That you're not tripping up.
Yeah, actually, whenever we work with any new client, like we work on this outline quadrant, right?
Mhm.
Let me explain exactly what it is. We have actually created this outline quadrant to give 10 times more clarity in the entire book writing process, not only book writing process, but also all the other steps that are after book writing. So the book outline quadrant consists of 4 elements, right? In these 4 quadrants. So the first quadrant is all about the idea, right? You have the basic book idea ready, right? The second is why, right? The- which is extremely important. Most of the people they actually miss out. Like usually, most people they want to start writing a book because maybe someone came to them after an event and said like, "Hey, you should write a book." Um, so you that should not be your why. Your why should be very clear that hey, like, is it just to build your brand? Is it to really share your story, help people, get more clients? Exactly what it is. Like get more speaking gigs because it is going to help you craft the entire. Like you will be using that why to create the entire book accordingly, right?
Mm.
So the book that can help you build your brand is going to be different from the book that can help you get speaking gigs, right? So
Yep, that
the
makes
direction
sense.
of the book is going to be different. So the first is the idea, the second is the why, the third is readers, right? Who would be the end reader who's going to be reading the book? And that is extremely important because you need to understand that you are not writing the book for yourself, for your wife, for your parents. You're writing the book for the end reader who are facing the problem that you used to face maybe 5 years ago. And you have covered you went from point A to point B. Now you're sharing this story like how I did it and how you can do it. So you are writing the book for only those people like who are still on point A, wanting to go to point B. That is your goal, right? So you have to understand your reader so thoroughly. Like what I used to do is I used to go in different Facebook groups, right?
Yep.
Like there's so many Facebook groups, like um, hundreds and hundreds of Facebook groups, and you can do the research over there. You can post something, and people are very supporting over there. Like you can ask them, "Hey, I'm writing a book. What kind of problems you are facing over there?" So people are very, very friendly. You can also communicate with them, chat with them, you get some ideas from there. Uh, what kind of pain they are experiencing as of now, if they haven't read your book, you have to understand, right? What kind of pain, what kind of desire they have. So once you understand the readers, so the first is the idea, the second is the why, the third is the reader, the fourth is the book or the unique angle, like how your book is going to be different from other books in the market. There could be thousands of books in the market, but why your book? Like why people are going to be buying your book? How
Yep.
your book is going to be different? So you have to answer that question as well. So once you understand these 4 elements, so I recommend that you create a A4 sheet page, draw the quadrant, and write these 4 things like the idea, the why, the book, and the readers, and paste it on the wall where you will be writing the book. Always keep it in front of you, and always be reminded that this is what you want to achieve. And now read the entire book outline, the title and subtitle, the description of the book, and the direction of the book, the flow of the book. Everything should be aligned towards this book outline quadrant because it has everything, right? The idea, why you want to write a book, and for whom you're writing the book, and what's the unique about this book. So everything is over there. So if you will be always keeping it in your mind, that it's going to be helping you give clarity to each and every step of the process, right? Whether you are in reading a title, outline, chapters, or the conclusions.
Yeah, and it, and again, thank you for your engineering mind, because what you've described there is, in very simple terms, is the science. You need these elements. You need to put them together, and they can be hugely powerful together. And for many people, I imagine of that 81%, they just go, "Oh, I just want to write a book." Actually, well, have you really got your message clear? Have you got that clear message? Do you understand why? And your illustration about building a brand versus, speaking gigs, it's really helpful for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing though, the use of Chat GPT isn't necessarily going to be for everybody. And for some people, they don't want to go through that accelerated process. They want to, feel the art, kind of feel that they've suffered for their art, as it were, or that, it's been really a challenge for them. Do you see kind of that range of people, that range of motivations coming through in the future?
As of now, like we have two packages that we offer, right? The one is
Mhm.
100% done for you. We write the book for them, edit, design, publish, market. The second package is kind of a done with you, where they write the book, maybe themselves or using Chat GPT. We have training for that, and then we take care of all the other steps like editing, design, publishing, and paper. As of now, 75% of the people are going towards done for them, right? Like I know that for they want us to write for them. They want a real person to interview them and write for them. So there's still some people like who are going to go towards the done with you. I have also seen a few people in the done with you package that they don't want to use ChatGPT at all.
Mhm.
Maybe because they're not tech savvy, or maybe because they are kind of keeping themselves safeguard with for
Yeah.
any kind of legal issue in the future. So, but there are a few people like who are using ChatGPT for, and yesterday, like I got an email from a client, and they said like he was able to complete the entire book using ChatGPT for, like leveraging ChatGPT for, not the entire language. He is already like 4 times author himself. I think he is a professor in Stanford University. Very successful guy, like really, really amazing guy. And he is in this technology thing, right? Like he understood the power of AI and ChatGPT for, and he leveraged that, and he was able to write the entire book in, I think 5 to 6 weeks, which is great because he did it for the very first time, right? He used
Mm.
ChatGPT for the very first time. So the training was good. So he was able to follow that right in the book. And I read some of the parts of the book, and they were really great, extremely good, very engaging. The book is all about self-help and meditation and everything. The way he's written it is incredible. So yes, some people are kind of holding themselves. They don't want to try that. But I think in the near future, things are going to be changing a lot.
Mm.
There are more and more people going towards the done with you package. I could see that trend coming, right? Initially, it was 90-10 ratio. Of course, before ChatGPT 4, it was just the
Yeah.
done for you. Then we launched this done with you as well. Then initially it was 90-10 ratio, then 80-10 ratio. Now it is 75-25. But still, most of the people are going towards the done for you. They want real person to write the book for them.
Yeah. And with the real person kind of, you're always getting in underneath, well, why do you think that? Why is that important? How did that show up? And sometimes that interview skill is definitely a human connection. It's an
Exactly.
understanding what appeals to another human about your
Mm,
story, or sometimes seeing your story from a different perspective than you do because you hold it so tight. I can definitely understand that. And again, what strikes me from our conversation, and right from the very outset, it's very much around helping writers and authors find their voice. But there's also opening up access for readers to hear from people who are perhaps more like them or really understand their battles, who can inspire them in a way that maybe more traditional writers
mm,
can't get. If you think about things like TikTok and YouTube, yeah, I watch my son watch different people on YouTube, and I just don't get it. But actually, he's finding people that inspire him, that are challenging his thinking, that are helping him feel like he
mm,
can. And what strikes me, Vikram, and perhaps you could expand on this, but by opening up the opportunity to write books. You're opening up the opportunity for people to read your stories, to then build their own lives and take it in a completely different direction.
Right. Yeah. So there are, of course, a lot of mediums out there to inspire people or spread message. YouTube is one of the great platform, right? There are people like who with massive followers, like really engaging followers using YouTube. Podcast is one of the best platform to connect with the audience. Then then comes the email list. Like people also used to offer something for free, and then they used to uh, offer something valuable in their email sequences. Then comes the book, right? Book is kind of a very special um, place for most of the people, right? I don't know why, but if you see someone that, hey, this is an author on this topic, I don't know why, like people see you as an expert on this topic. They see
Mm.
you as an authority on the topic. And that's why I think Brian Tracy said it a few years ago that if you want to establish your authority, you have to become an author, because in authority word itself, the first few letters are author. So, so people actually see you differently once you become an author. I think the book is kind of a modern day visiting card or business card for you, which is like 100 times more powerful. Like people usually get the business card and they throw it away, or maybe they just in the corner or in the dustbin. But when it comes to book, like usually people either read it or they just keep it in a bookshelf or on their table, which is a great branding. Like your brand is in their home. People like were visiting their office or in their home, they are seeing that book, right? So
Yeah.
they're seeing your name over there. It's kind of a signature identity of yourself over there. Your brand is there in the book, right? There are a lot of people out there like who are great. They have massive followers on TikTok or Instagram and YouTube, and I've met some other people as well. Their goal also is to become an author one day. That once they will accomplish a lot of things, then they would be sharing the story that how they did it. So it's kind of a they always keep book on the higher note, like way better than the YouTube or the
Yeah.
TikTok. So
Yeah.
book is something really crazy. Let me tell you one more insight. I was just thinking of one day. Uh, Bill Gates, like founder of Microsoft, he wrote this book a few years ago on climate change, global
Yeah.
warming. So he was doing his research for past 10 years, 15 years, and he spent millions and millions, maybe billions of dollars in this market, like in this research. And he hired a lot of scientists that what's happening, what's going to happen in the future. And then he wrote, I think, 200 to 50 pages book on that. And that book is available only for $20 on Amazon. Think about it. This guy he has spent 10 years, 20 years of his life, has spent billions of dollars in gathering that information. And that same information that he got in those number of years and after spending so much money, that the same information is available for you only for $20. Think about it. Like this is what it is. Like people, these celebrities, like top 1% people are also sharing the information that they have through the book
Mm.
because they know that it is going to reach massive audience, right?
Mm.
Millions and millions of people can actually read those books and get benefit out of it. They want to serve the world. And
Mm.
if you really want to be limitless, book or writing a book or becoming an author can one of the best way to become a limitless.
Ah, so I'm definitely inspired, and hopefully our audience is inspired as well. Because I would love to hear some of the stories, some of the concepts that come out from everybody who listens in. How can people find out more about what you offer? How can they follow your work?
Yeah, sure. So if you want to check out our work, they can simply visit authorsonmission.com. We have plenty of testimonials and case studies on our website. Some of them are from industry leaders. You can see that. Go through those case studies. If you think that this is a fit for you, you can book a call with one of our author strategists. They will see if both of us are fit or not. If everything is fine, then they will onboard you. Right? It's a simple process. It's in Once you start working with us, in less than 6 months, you can be a best-selling author. That's our guarantee. So yeah, simply visit authorsonmission.com. If you think this is a fit, just simply book a call with us.
And it's got to be a fit both ways, really, doesn't it? Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. My puppy dog Enzo, who appears on the show, he's he's a delight. And whilst I think everybody would want to read a story about Enzo as a as a publisher and as a guide, you'd probably tell me, no, Claire, it's just you who's interested in Enzo. Maybe not the rest of the planet. So I can understand that two-way fit for sure. Vikram, it's been an absolute delight to learn more about your journey, your mission, and how you're helping people to have a voice and how you're helping move the planet along. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as Vikram beautifully did, bring us back around to this concept of limitless. We've been challenged throughout this month around who sets these limits, and it's changing. You can be whoever you want to be, you can do whatever you want to do, and you can inspire more people than you realize. Just put in a little bit of work. Find a friend who can help you, but you truly can be limitless. So please do like, share, subscribe, whatever you need to do. Just help this message get out to inspire people that you know and love around you. And until our next episode of Exponential Potential, thank you. And Vikram, thank you so much. I think we're going to need to put you for a repeat guest for sure.
Thanks,
Been
Claire.
great
It was
to meet
fun.
you.
It was fun chatting with you.